Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Reading the Red this Tuesday morning. We're looking at Matthew chapter 10, verse 7. Jesus has begun to bring some teaching regarding how he will instruct the disciples to be those who go out into the world. And remember, not to go to the Samaritans or to the Gentiles, but to go to the Jews, the lost sheep of Israel, those who have gone astray. And in verse 7, Jesus, in Matthew 10, Jesus says these words, "And as you go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And as you go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand." And in Matthew, because Matthew's a Jew, he doesn't use the word God when he uses heaven, whereas Luke, in his version of it, uses the word God. So Luke says the kingdom of God is at hand. But in Matthew, he records the kingdom of heaven. That's because Jews have such a respect for the name of God that they don't use it so lightly as maybe, say, the Gentiles would. And so as you go, preach. So there's an expectation on Jesus that these disciples who have been given this instruction regarding the gospel would go and do what Jesus says. And they go out and they pray. And he says, "Go as you go, proclaim," or as you go, preach. The word proclamation is to be a proclaimer of something. So to make it heard, to oracle it, to reveal it, to demonstrate it. And we'll see later, not just with words, but in this case, go out and proclaim the revelation. There's a time to give an explanation in regards to what it is that's in you in terms of what you have with God as a Christian. And sometimes we need to just reveal to people by the way we live our lives. But there's a time to speak, to proclaim, to tell the story, your testimony, the revelation of your journey. It's precious. And we need to be those who go out and proclaim. Now, the church hasn't been that committed to going out. Many people have never led anyone to Jesus. Many people have never brought another sinner out of the cold, as it were, into the warmth of the fire of God's love. But the truth is that we are all called to be evangelists, not to be those who always go out and be proclaimers like we see evangelists like Billy Graham, but we all are called to be those who go and tell the story, tell the gospel story to those out there who are in a darkness. So Jesus says, go, that means obey me, go and proclaim, or go and preach. Press in, preach to them the gospel, the good news, the revelation that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, meaning it's right at the end of your arm. It's very near. It's right here. Or because I'm here, the kingdom of God is here, because the kingdom of God is in me. When you turn up, the kingdom of God is in that situation. Why? Because you're there. And the kingdom of God as a Christian is in you. Now, if you're not a Christian, then the reality of that blessing is there for you even today. That you can take that step from being, as it were, out in the cold and come into the warmth of God's love. But it means that you receive and accept the message of the gospel. Be blessed today. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.